Hello and welcome to the Hail Mary Joe 2 TD Score Show. I'm your host, Jose. And just like that, we're going to review Thursday night's Week 14 picks, and we're going to go on to one touchdown score for the remaining games for Week 14 between the Sunday and Monday contests. Okay, so Thursday night I had Devontae Parker and I had Fryermuth from Pittsburgh, each for 2 TDs. Parker was inactive, so I got $1 back, and on the SGP that I had them both, so I lost $2. It was the first time this year that when I did pick a New England player, it's the first time I didn't pick Hunter Henry, and yeah, Hunter Henry got 2. I didn't know it was his birthday. If I would have known it was his birthday, I would have automatically bet him. But it is what it is. Let's go on to Monday's matchups. Now, what I did do this week, remember, this is not financial advice. This is strictly what I'm doing and only what I'm doing. I'm not authorized to give you that. If you do decide to gamble on football, please only gamble what you can afford to lose. That's the golden rule. So, I have one ticket of 4 players, betting the 1s, 2s, and 3s, 50 cents on the 1s, 2s, and 3s, cost of $7. And I have 3 tickets of 3 players. Betting's the 1s, 2s, and 3s, 50 cents at a total cost of $3.50, costing me what, $10.50 for that, and $7, $17.50 for Sunday, Monday's games. So here we go. On the first ticket, 4 players, all for 2 TDs. Everybody will have 2 TDs except for the last ticket on the last player, and that'll only be for 1. But other than that, everybody else is for 2 TDs. So ticket number 1, 4 players. Taysom Hill for New Orleans, playing against Carolina, 2 TDs at 14-1. How can you trust a Carolina player? I can't, and Hill is both a receiving and a running threat, and so, he's facing the 4th-ranked pass defense, so he could be more of a threat, but, he's got them options when he goes and plays QB in the red zone. You never know. He could pass one in. He could throw one in. He could catch one in. So, I'm going with him. In the last 3 games, he's been passing 0 for 2. But he's had 21 carries for 91 yards and 1 TD. So, The next player I'm taking on ticket number 1 is going to be Dalton Schultz for Houston. 2 TDs at 22-1. How can you trust the Jets players right now? I can't. Wilson's going to be back playing supposedly, so who knows? He was limited in practice this week, but, they do expect him to go. He's got the 5th most targets in the red zone for tight ends. Okay, I mean, you have to take that chance because he's going to get his chance. I mean, his target share in the red zone between zone and man-to-man coverage varies between 19.4% and 20.4%. So, and New Jersey is tied for most receiving TDs by tight ends. So, Dalton Schultz could be the guy this week. I'm telling you. The next player I have is going to be Travis Etienne for Jacksonville. He's playing against Cleveland. He's paying 9-1 for 2 TDs. He's facing the 14th ranked pass defense. In the last 3 games, he's had 45 carries, 153 yards, 1 TD. And he's had receiving of 11 from 13 catches for 71 yards. So, I mean, he could be a really good option for checkdowns. Trevor Lawrence, banged up ankle. We're not sure if he's going to play or not. So if he does play, then he doesn't want to be running around a whole lot. So he's going to be checking down. And if it's the backup, well, what else but check down since you're not so familiar with the offense, or you could be, just bad, poor play from a backup quarterback, So it leaves that option available to us. So the third player I have on ticket number 1 is going to be Isaiah Likely for Baltimore Ravens, playing the Los Angeles Rams, 2 TDs at 30-1. In Week 12, he had 40 yards, which led the team. Ertz is new, but, Likely's been there. He knows the playbooks better, I mean, he will get options without Mark Andrews. I mean, they will play 12 offense, which is 2 tight ends, 1 running back, and so forth. So they'll do that, and I mean, he could be in for a big day. He really could be, because the Los Angeles Rams, I know it's fantasy I'm going to talk about, but touchdowns equal fantasy points, but so do catches and yards, but they give up the third most fantasy points to tight ends, the Rams do. So, we're hoping that converts into a couple of TDs for Likely, and bingo, we're in the money, just like that. So, the last player I have is going to be, on ticket number 1, is going to be Cade Otton. Okay, Tampa Bay. You can't trust Atlanta players. I can't. Riddler or whoever else is quarterbacking. He's playing 45-1 for 2 touchdowns. He's facing the 11th ranked pass defense. In the last 3 games, he's been 8 for 9, 94 yards, 0 TDs. But like I said, I can't trust Atlanta. I'm not betting Atlanta players. I'm going with Cade Otton this week. So that's ticket number 1. Now for ticket number 2, 3 players. Okay, and we're going to have Sam Laporta for Detroit Lions, 2 touchdowns at 14-1, facing the 25th ranked pass D. In the last 3 games, he's been 17 for 22, 205, and 2 TDs. He's one of the top tight ends this year. He's a rookie. He's ranked in the top 3, in all categories for tight ends. So, you know what? We're going to go with him. That's it. It's that simple. He's a offensive threat. So the next person I have is going to be Alex Pierce for Indy, playing against Cincinnati. 2 TDs, is paying 30-1, facing the 27th ranked pass defense. Yes, he's not the top receiver, right? But he is getting the 2nd most targets on the team. So with that alone, I gotta go for him. I mean, the last 3 games, he's been 8 for 13, 148 yards, and 1 TDs. Got to do it, So the third player that I'm going to go with on ticket number 2 is going to be T.J. Hawkinson for Minnesota against the Las Vegas Raiders. So he's 3rd in fantasy points for tight ends. So, I know points don't lead into touchdowns, but at the end of the day, touchdowns add up for points in fantasy. So that's what we're hoping for this week, he, in the last 3 games, he's been 20 for 28, 239 yards, and 2 TDs. He's off a bye week, which gives him more time to practice and form a connection with their new QB, Dobbs. So that's it for ticket number 2. Now we're going on to ticket number 3. And ticket number 3 is going to be the following: Jackson Smith-Njigba for Seattle, playing against San Francisco. Yeah, tough defense, but 2 TDs at 35-1. It's the 4th highest point total for week 14, so I do expect points to be scored. They could, it's a divisional game. It could turn into be a dud and be a defensive battle, but at the end of the day, I'm going for the points. We're chasing 2 touchdown scores. We want some points scored. He had the most targets last week for Ninja, even over Metcalf. I know Metcalf had 3 touchdowns, but that's why I wouldn't pick Metcalf this week. And San Francisco has some safety concerns this week, which could help JSN. And a lot of the attention will be paid to Lockett and to Metcalf, so giving JSN some opportunities, especially in the red zones, especially with them safety concerns. So that's it there. The next player I have on ticket number 3 is going to be Rashee Rice for KC. He's playing against Buffalo. He's 2 TDs for a total of 16-1. He's facing the 8th pass defense, but Buffalo offense has sputtered. I can't trust them. I just don't know where they're going to go, if they're going to score points or not, or what they're going to do. Now he did get the most targets last week out of all KC receivers. So as compared to MVS or Sky Moore or anybody else on that team, it's either Kelsey or Rice that are going to do it, or Pikachu. Yes, I know I said the name wrong, but I like the sound of it. What can I tell you? And I do apologize to both the players and the fans. So that's it there. And then the third player I have on ticket number 3 is going to be Courtland Sutton for Denver Broncos. 2 TDs at 16-1. He's facing the LA Chargers. Now, they haven't been scoring points, and yes, they have a good defense, but so does Denver. And at the end of the day, I'd rather go with the streaking Russell Wilson than a Justin Herbert, and with the Courtland Sutton as compared to the receivers that are now available on the Chargers. Yes, Keenan Allen is great, but that's all they have right now in my eyes, or in my opinion. And That's the only one that I see really producing. So I'm going with the #1 receiver for the Denver Broncos, and hopefully Russ can cook us some money. Hey, that's it. Now for ticket number 4. So I have 2 players of 2 TDs and the last player for 1 TD, and I'll explain why. So the first player that I have on ticket number 4 for 2 TDs is going to be Romeo Doubs for Green Bay Packers. Yes, he's playing against the Giants. I'm not trusting anybody from the Giants. Yes, I know it's Tommy DeVito being their QB. Yes, he's had some success. He's, he's a backup QB, but at the end of the day, I expect the way that Green Bay's been playing, winning 4 of the last 5 games and coming on strong and having a quicker start for the last couple of games to be able to score some points, play with the lead, and stay with the lead. So that's the way it goes. And, you can't trust New York Giants. Watson had 2 TDs last week and, stopped playing because of a hamstring injury, So, Jaden Reed's a great choice, but I'm going with Doubs. I mean, Doubs had the big catch last week, and he is trusted with Jordan Love. In the last 3 games, he's been 12 for 15, 162 yards, and 1 TD. He's only had 1 drop in each of the last 3 games. I mean, I love that. I really do. When a guy's catching everything that's coming his way, it's awesome. So, the second player I have on ticket number 4 is going to be Devontae Smith for Philadelphia. Yes, Dallas is super hot. He's paying 16-1, by the way. Dallas is super hot, but he's averaging 9 targets a game. He's the second most behind A.J. Brown on the team, and everybody's going to be trying to stop Jalen Hurts, or I shouldn't say everybody, but Dallas is going to be trying to stop Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, giving Devontae Smith some opportunities, and I've noticed that last couple of games where A.J. Brown's been the main target of focus, and our boy Devonta did get a touchdown in 2 of those 3 games. So, I'm going with him. And I think the value on the Dallas players is so low that I have to go with him. And that's my reasoning. Remember, these are my picks, my reasonings. So the last player I have, and it's going to be for 1 touchdown, it's between Miami and Tennessee. Okay, and his name is Jillian Hill. Yes, he's a tight end for Miami. For 1 touchdown, he's paying 10-1. Okay, this is a long shot, hit or miss. What can I tell you? He was 4 for 6 in the last couple of games, 37 yards, 0 TDs. And last week he was 2 for 2. For 23 yards. The longest catch was 18 yards. So, between Hill, Waddell, Mozart, A-Chain, there's just no value in these players. Yes, they have a great opportunity to score. There's no value, but it could be like it was again last week, where the backup quarterback is going to play, and Miami is just, giving opportunities to other players that normally would not in a close, tight game at the beginning of the game. So, I'm going with him. That's it. So let's go over the review. We're going to go ticket number 1, 4 players. Taysom Hill for 2. Dalton Schultz, Travis Etienne, and Cade Otton for 2. So they're all for 2s. On ticket number 2, we have Sam Laporta for Detroit, Alex Pierce for Indianapolis, and TJ Hawkinson for Minnesota. On ticket number 3, we have Jackson Smith Ninjaba for Seattle. We have Rashid Rice for KC, and we have Cortland Sutton for Denver. Now on ticket number 4, we have Romeo Doubs for Green Bay. He's for 2. We have Devontae Smith for Philadelphia. He's for 2. And we have Julian Hill for Miami for 1 touchdown. Please enjoy the games, and we'll see you on Thursday for Thursday night's picks. And please enjoy the games, gamble responsibly, and I'll be back. Have fun. Enjoy.